I totally respect it. But I respectfully say that I don't know. Okay. I just
you don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen.
Ready for a shakedown. Prepared for a shakedown. From Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down.
I think the interesting part isn't Quez or Pascal. It's Rhaeger. What are they going to do with Jalen Reagor? Because I'm not convinced that that he's going to be on this roster. Because how can you justify Rhaeger from what we've seen so far, making the money that he makes, being picked where he picked, and being what? The fifth wide receiver? He's not better than Quez Watkins, and he's not better than Pascal. I don't think he's better than Greg Ward. So how do you justify a guy like that being out there? See, I think what the Eagles are going to do, I think early in camp, you're going to hear that Rhaeger's in the slot. I think he's going to be the third receiver. I think they're going to give him an opportunity because of where he was picked. It's a front office decision.
The Eagles have made sure that Jalen Reagor is not going to touch the field this year. Okay, you're not trading for A.J. Brown for no reason. You're not getting Zach Pascal for no reason. I don't care whether he's J. Jaw's replacement or not. Okay, whether that the case may be true for that. They've gave J. Jaw a no-winning situation. They have gave Jalen Reagor a no situation on top of not even hitting the field this year. Okay. They've already covered their tracks to sign Britton Covey and Devon Allen for special teams. So you know they did their homework to make sure they have covered their tracks for both positions that he cannot play going into this year.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Whiteside, he can't play because he's got two left feet for hands and he's slow. Right? He stinks, you know? But I mean, when you look at Rhaeger, I mean, he's making, according to Over the Cap, he's making $3.6 million this year. That doesn't sound like a ton of money.
No.
But how are they going to feel about making him the fifth wide receiver? Because you have Greg Ward, who I think is better, making $965,000. Zeke McPherson, $825,000. That's Zeke, but like there's guys that have bigger upside.
Hightower could play in. I'd rather have Hightower coming off injury or being injured than have Jalen Reagor on this roster right now. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've been happy with Howie Roseman these last two off seasons, especially this off season. The final 53 is going to be where we're going to be like, okay, they're strictly moving on. They're finally going to move on from all the mistakes that they have made, whether it's Howie's fault, which I don't think it's Howie's fault 100% anymore. Obviously, he makes the pick. But I think there's been pushback within this front office. We've heard the rumors about Jeffrey Lurie moving back, taking a step back when Sirianni was hired. I think we start to see that, no Andy Weidel getting in the way. There's really nobody in the way. Howie Roseman took complete control, which we thought he took complete control this whole entire time. So I felt like the Eagles have covered their tracks on some of these bust picks. And I don't think Rhaeger is going to look, his psyche is his worst enemy. And you have two of his best friends have died the past 2 years. He can't, and when he knows it's on him in a game, and before he catches the ball, he he closes his eyes catching the ball. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's when you're looking at your quarterback the whole entire time I just don't get it. Like, the opportunities he has had. I'm not saying that even if he caught that ball in that Giants game, we would have turned around and been like, oh, maybe he has.
You mean the ball where he closed his eyes? He closed his eyes. There's a picture of him going to catch the ball with his eyes closed.
Yeah, it's how do you keep there's just no way he gets a shot.
Well, no way. I agree with you. I don't want him to be the third receiver, fourth receiver. I'm just thinking at it from a Howie's pride and the front office view. He's a first round pick, and you're paying him $3.6 million at cap space this year. You have guys like Zach Pascal Pascal's $1.5 million. So are we going to get in a situation where the front office pushes him? They pushed him last year. There were times where they were trying to get him more involved than Devonta Smith. So I think the best case scenario is they got to trade or cut Rhaeger.
Yeah, but if they are pushing Howie Roseman and pushing the idea of giving, trying to justify Rhaeger this year, like, then why did they go out and get AJ Brown? Why did they sign Zach Pascal?
No, the coaching staff isn't pushing it. Howie's pushing it. The front office is pushing. Hey, play him. He's a first-round pick. He gets first dibs at the third receiver.
And you think that he's still going to push the coaching staff to give him another shot, an opportunity?
I do.
You're crazy.
I think early on in camp, first day of camp, you're going to hear about 11-on-11s going or whatever. You're going to hear Rhaeger lined up as the third receiver in a slot. That's a prediction. You watch. It won't last. He'll lose the spot. He'll lose it early. He may lose it by week 1. But to start camp, I think they're going to try to make Rhaeger the third receiver. It's going to be a complete front office interference. My prediction.
But yeah, I mean, no, it's a good prediction. I totally respect it. I totally respect it, but I respectfully say that I don't know. Okay. I just
you don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen.
I don't even but I just don't think about that because I'm just like they've done so much. Like, we're going to find out if this is the actual Howie Roseman we've been looking at the past couple off seasons.
All right.
When it comes
let me give you an example. Last year, Rhaeger played a lot. And we all knew Greg Ward was better. Yet he never saw the field. Why didn't he see the field? I don't think the coaches care. I think they play the best guy. I think decisions like that come from the front office, dude. I do. I think Dougie P. Okay, I think Doug Peterson valued Greg Ward over what Nick Sirianni values him. I don't think they value Greg Ward the way Doug did. He's better than Rhaeger, though.
But they don't see that. I don't know. Then how are they not seeing that? That's what I'm trying to say.
Then we're in trouble. We're in trouble. If they don't see it, we are in trouble. I think they do see it. See, that's my point. Is I think that Nick Sirianni and the opposite, I think they do know Greg Ward's better. But because of the pressure of Howie and the front office trying to justify a first-round pick and how much he's getting paid, are making them play Rhaeger. That's why when we watch these games early on in the game, you're going, why are they so interested in getting Rhaeger going and they're not doing anything with Devonta Smith?
Yeah, but I'm saying this, like, are they putting Jay Jaw in, like, are they putting Jay Jaw in a winning situation? They're not. They're putting him in a losing situation at tight end. That's a losing situation.
Yeah. I don't think he can make it. But that's what I'm saying. Once again, it's the front office trying to justify a second-round pick that they don't want to give up on. If they treat Whiteside like that as a second-round pick, how much more are they going to treat their first-round pick that they don't? Howie doesn't like to give up on his picks, man. He doesn't. I think Rhaeger gets the shot early in camp. That's my prediction. First day of camp of practice, Jalen Reagor will be lining up as a third.
Okay, that's fair. Let him line up, do it, and let him fail. I mean, whatever the case may be.
That will happen. That will happen. Yeah.
I mean, we remember last year. We remember when all the one-handed catches, and we got fooled. We got tricked.
Me right here. I was a sucker. Him, Ben Smith. Ben Simmons. They screwed me up, man.
Who the hell is Ben Smith?
Ben Smith is an old Eagles cornerback. Used to play opposite Eric Allen. Fantastic. He got hurt. But I like Ben Smith, not Ben Simmons. But I used to do it with Ben Simmons, too. You see him on Twitter, Instagram, shooting three-pointers going, oh, here it comes. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that with Rhaeger. I'm not doing it with him. I'm not doing anybody.
Yeah, so we're going to single out Rhaeger when it comes to the scrimmages and not believe a damn thing that happens. We're going to watch it. We're going to see it, but
I agree, B. Lewis. Why not justify Smitty? Smitty got he was targeted as like the 37th receiver last year. I mean, that's way too much. You watch Rhaeger, you watch Devonta Smith the night that they wanted him to break the record to get him out for his couple.
Yeah,
they threw at him early. He caught everything. And then how many times have you watched I've watched all 22s every week. He's open a lot, and they don't throw him.
Yeah, they go into a wild card game and throw them in the
third quarter. He gets third quarter his first pass. I mean, we've talked about that in nauseum last year. They got to start treating Devonta Smith like the number one receiver he is, you know. But listen. Here's the thing: Howie Roseman has final say on the last 3 spots of the roster. So he has final say for the last 3 spots. Do you know what that means? That means that he can say, it doesn't matter how this last final guy's played. I'm worried about compensatory picks. I'm worried about money. I'm worried about that. And he's going to make decisions on that. That's what I worry about.
The more undrafted free agents or the more backups that actually show promise, the less we're going to see J-Jaw and Rhaeger at the beginning of this season. And I hope that's the case. Because I think Rhaeger is still a big release candidate this year. I feel like
I do too.
Huge release candidate.
I think so. Because I think if he's and this is kind of my point. If Rhaeger is the 4th or 5th receiver, they're going to cut him because they're not going to pay a guy $3.6 million or whatever it is to be on the roster. They're going to just cut him. I think right now after June 1st, let me see this. After June 1st, Rhaeger is. Let's see if I can find him. Where are you, Rhaeger? Okay, so Rhaeger, if they cut Rhaeger, they would have to eat $2.4 million.
Okay.
So they would be in the hole $2.4 million. That could happen. That could happen.
Yeah, I can eat that up easily. I'm not worried about that. I mean, compared to what we give it up for, like the Malik Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey contracts, and even Carson Wentz at this point. I mean, they could eat up 2.4 if that's the case.
And I think they will, because I don't think Rhaeger is better than Quez. I don't think he's better than Pascal, and I don't think he's better than Greg Ward Jr.
I think one of these other guys are going to shine. They might shine just enough to where they're not even going to make the team, but they're still going to look better, like Weedfall or Josh Hammond or whoever the hell's on this roster.
Greg Ward will get cut, and he will end up in Washington. And he'll end up in Washington with Carson. Watch. It'll happen.
Unbelievable.
Hey, maybe Rhaeger will be. Maybe Rhaeger will be really good this year. Maybe we'll be surprised.
Shut the hell up.
I mean, look, it does take 3 years for a receiver.
At least, and you look at other receivers, at least with Nelson Aguilar, okay, you got separation. You just got a guy that couldn't catch. He's had a very up and down career so far, okay? Rhaeger gets bullied off the line, can't get past the first line of defense, runs out of bounds, run inbounds, doesn't know where the ball is when he's catching it. I mean, I feel like every time he tries to catch the ball, he's like, oh, shit, before he catches it.
He is.
That's how I feel about him. I mean, and there were some passes to Rhaeger last year that were underthrown where he could have had Rhaeger wide open, and, there was some on Jalen Hurts, but nothing compared to what Rhaeger has done, because if he's no other roster in the NFL with Rhaeger on it would have lasted 4 weeks. There's just no way he would have still been a starter. Like, what do other teams do with first-round pick receivers that don't pan out in 2 years? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, do they try to justify it for another year, or do they,
I'm sure they try to justify it at first, too. I'm sure, I think what the Eagles did last year, I think a lot of teams would do that, But the question is with all the upgrades this year, will they still do it? And that is a question I do have. I don't know. Don't you frown. Here comes Philly Shakedown. Let's go.